Most survival stories are a battle between man and nature, but this story is different. On June 4th, 1629, the ship Batavia crashed into a reef off the coast of Australia. Over 200 people survived the wreck. They made it to land. They had food. They should have been safe. But when rescuers arrived months later, they didn't find a community of survivors. They found a graveyard. Men, women, and children. Slaughtered. Not by hunger, not by thirst, but by a man who decided that on this island, he was God. To understand the horror, we go back to the beginning. The year is 1628. The Batavia was the Titanic of her time, a beast of the ocean, built for power and glory. She carried 340 souls and chests full of silver, sailing towards the Spice Islands. But hidden among the passengers was a bankrupt apothecary named Geronimus Cornelis. He was a smooth talker, a man of high intelligence, but with a dark, twisted soul. He believed that he was perfection, that sin did not apply to him, that he could do anything. Deep in the ocean, far from civilization, Geronimus began to whisper poison into the captain's ear. "Why work for the company?" he asked. "We can take the ship. We can take the silver." A mutiny was brewing. They planned to kill the commander and seize the fortune. They were waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But the ocean had other plans. Just before sunrise, a navigational error led them straight into a trap. The lookouts thought it was the moon's reflection. By the time they realized, it was too late. Crash. The impact was cataclysmic. The wood shattered like glass. Panic erupted. Lanterns smashed. The ocean poured in. The dream of mutiny was over. Now, the only goal was survival. But for the survivors, the true nightmare had just begun. The Kingdom of Terror. The survivors gathered on a small, dry coral island. No fresh water, no food, just despair. Commander Pelsart knew they would die of thirst, so he took the only longboat to search for water. But days turned into weeks. Pelsart did not return. He had sailed to Java to get help. To the people left behind, it felt like betrayal. They were alone, and they were thirsty. In this chaos, one man saw an opportunity. Geronimus Cornelis stepped out of the shadows. He was the highest-ranking officer left. He told them, "I will save you. Trust in me." But secretly, he knew the supplies were limited. If everyone lived, they would all starve. To live like a king, he needed the population to decrease drastically. There was only one problem. A group of loyal soldiers led by a brave man named Weeby Hayes. Geronimus knew the soldiers would stop him, so he devised a cunning trap. He sent Hayes and his men to a distant island to search for water. He told them to light a fire if they found any. It was a death sentence. Geronimus believed that island was barren. He expected them to die of thirst. With the soldiers gone, the wolf was now alone, with the sheep. He gathered a group of violent men. He promised them silver, power, and women. Then, the culling began. At first, it was subtle. The sick and the weak simply disappeared at night. But soon, the violence came into the light. Anyone who disobeyed was executed. Panic spread like a disease. Families huddled together, waiting for their turn to die. Geronimus didn't just kill. He enjoyed it. He wore the commander's clothes and forced everyone to bow to him. In just 2 months, over 110 men, women, and children were murdered. The island had become hell on earth. But on the distant island, smoke began to rise. Weeby Hayes was not dead. the final battle. On the other island, Weeby Hayes and his soldiers did not die. They found fresh water. Soon, survivors from the slaughter began to escape. They swam across the ocean to join Hayes. They told him the truth. Geronimus was not a leader. He was a monster. Hayes knew war was coming. They had no weapons, so they made pikes out of driftwood and nails. They built a stone fort. They trained, and they waited for the devil to arrive. When Geronimus realized Hayes was alive, he was furious. He gathered his mutineers to attack. The mutineers had guns. Hayes's men only had sticks, but Hayes had something else: discipline. Geronimus attacked 3 times, and 3 times he was defeated. During a negotiation, Hayes's men managed to capture Geronimus himself. The king had fallen, but the fight wasn't over. The remaining mutineers launched one final desperate attack. Suddenly, a miracle happened. A sail appeared on the horizon. It was Commander Pelsaert. He had returned. Both sides saw the ship. It became a race. Whoever reached Pelsaert first would tell the story. Weeby Hayes reached the ship first. He told the commander everything. When the mutineers arrived, they saw the cannons pointed at them. It was over. Pelsaert established a court on the island. The interrogation was brutal. The truth was revealed. Geronimus Cornelis was sentenced to death. On October 2nd, 1629, his reign of terror ended. His hands were cut off, and he was hanged. The other mutineers followed him to the grave. Weeby Hayes was promoted to hero, but for the survivors, the nightmare of the Batavia would never fade. The island is still there today, a beautiful, quiet place, with a soil full of bones.